and hope you had a chance to relax for a few minutes. Now, next up, we have our next session. It's going to be presented by Venkat. He's a Microsoft MVP and MCT for business applications, and today he's going to talk about cloud flows. So, hey, Venkat, are you there?
Hi, Ritika.
Hey, welcome. And thank you so much for coming here and presenting a session on a Saturday. It really means a lot. Thank you. Over to you.
Share my screen.
Okay.
You can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
So, hi everyone. Good morning, wherever you are. And yes, I'm enjoying all the sessions of these classmates for today. And for this session, without wasting much time, I'm dealing with the Power Automate Cloud Flows. And just this is my brief introduction. I'm a Microsoft MVP and on business applications and also C Sharp Corner MVP from the past two times and also MCT from the past 3 years. And I'm also a Power Platform Architect and Azure Architect as well. And I'm also certified in various Dynamics 365 versions. And I have closely to 13 plus years of experience. And coming to the lead things like community contributions, I'm acting as a community lead at the 365 Champs. And this is my blog, which is present here. So, yep. So I'll keep a pause here and then just go back to this particular one. Okay. Hope you can see my next session, right? Okay.
Yes,
So
Venkat.
just so okay. So just I'm going to tell you about the Power Automate overview. Like, okay, so why this particular Power Automate that we have to use it and what is the main fundamental here. So just you might have just one thing that I would like to tell you to the audience, like previously till 2019, you might have heard about flows and all. But during the period of time, the terminology has been changed. Still, few of the customers they refer as an flows only. But please do note that from October 2019, this Microsoft Flow has been renamed to Power Automate. So just if at all anybody asks you like Microsoft Flows and all, just think that okay, this Power Automate they are speaking about. So just in this particular lesson, what you are going to use, right? Just you are going to learn the business value and features of Power Automate, and as well as how Power Automate works and looks from an user perspective. So you can ask me, okay, just if at all you are very new to here and for the first time you are hearing, right, what Power Automate brings to you. So simply, if you have any repetitive task, it can be automated. And if you want any user to guide through a process, then Power Automate is uh, one that you have to use. And also, if you wanted to use to connecting external data sources without writing much amount of code, you can say less code. Then Power Automate you can use it. And also the last part is automatic desktop and based process, where then next session Yash is going to tell you. So I'm going to cover about the basic of this particular Power Automate. So by generally, right, scale automation efficiently. So direct when we have to use this Power Automate. So yes, you know that now how to use this particular Power Automate. Okay, why you have to use it in the same way in order to use automation efficiently, right? What we have in the product. The first one is the pre-built in templates are present. That means there is no need for you to start from the start from zero step, because we do have the pre-built templates are present where we can use it. One is built automated and workflows, they are used to pre-built templates. And also we do have the 600 plus connectors that are present. So connector means if you wanted to have an interaction with the third party integration or third party system and all, we have the pre-built connectors that are there, and few of them are few of them, or you have to take the license for using. But at the end, if you have this particular connector, just you can forget about how these two Power Automate and the external source has been connected, how that fundamentals that is present. If you have connector, just you can rightly use it. And also the best thing it with the Power Automate, right, as it is from a Microsoft product, and also we do have an good integration of the Microsoft Azure, so you can leverage directly Azure, Microsoft 365, and also the Dynamics 365. So Microsoft 365, I mean to say, like if you have wanted to have some kind of Teams integration and Viva, all these things, you can have it, and also Dynamics 365, irrespective of the module like the sales, service, and marketing and all, but still you can directly use it by using the Power Automate. And yes, if you have certain customers who are still using on-premise, then you have the liberty to use Power Automate, but in a different manner. So just I will give an example like okay, just as an example, Power Automate, when we can go it right. Example, you have as in customer, you have purchased a particular product. After that particular product has been purchased, right, in order to get certain receipts, all these things, right, what you can do it generally, everything is manual. If you go to any particular outlet, what you will do, you pay the you will select that product, and then fill out that manual form and then give it to the salesperson there, and after that salesperson will guide you to go to that cashier, and you will pay that amount, and then again he will give you certain receipt which is of the manual, and then all these things. So all these are kind of manual things that are present. But if you wanted to automate this one, you can do it by using an Power Automate. So basically, like so if you are purchasing any particular order, right, virtually, then what you need to have it is an app you have to add, and also an Power Automate at the back end that you need to have. So app, what it will do, right, just so you will have an app, and this particular app will speak to directly this particular get manager v2 and send wait for approval. These are nothing but the this Power Automate different steps that you are going to use it. See at this particular thing, like okay, what are all the manual steps that are present? So just from an app, you will get an request. Okay, I need this particular product. At the back end, whatever the manual things that are present, like okay, just you have filled the form and it moves to the some other person, and he has approved it. Again, that another manual form will be generated, and that manual form will be given to the other person. This all manual generation is systematically can be stepped by using this particular Power Automate. So just an example from this one, Power Apps and request is coming, and from that request it goes to the manager for an approval. Automatically on a click of a button he will approve it, and then by saying that okay, this particular purchase order, this amount is there, just he will verify okay, all the discounts, everything is correct or not. That simply he will purchase, he will approve it, or then he will reject it. Everything is happened by using all these particular Power Automate related things. And if you observe, right, the power approval process, just if you see this manager has asked for an approval. If you get an approval, then just the condition, if that particular value is greater than 10,000, just here, if you observe, right, there are some business conditions and business criteria will be present, where for certain kind of approvals you need more approvals, right? So here the in Power Automate you can perform all these particular business logic. Just forget about how this can be achieved, but just think like okay, in Power Automate I can perform all the business logic that is present without writing much amount of code. Okay, so just it will say here, if it is yes, then example, my product is having more than 10,000 of amount, then I need an approval from the other level. If at all it is not, then just an email has been approved with the 10,000, and it goes to for an email approval. So if I go to back to here, right, you can ask me a question. So Venkat, you are explaining me about the Power Automate related things. Now, what are the opportunities that I have it? So see, Power Automate works by creating flows of which are of three types. One is the cloud flows, and another one is the business process flows, and the other one is the desktop flows. So I will give you some information about the cloud flows. These flows that see, if you are working on the cloud flows, there are few things that you will keep on hearing it. One is trigger, second one is the action, and then these two are main things. And after that one, there are other synonyms or the acronyms that you will use here, that those are connectors. So first, trigger. Trigger means when should my flow has to start working on it. Example, on creation of any record, then I need to send an email. So the trigger point of my Power Automate for that cloud flow is creation of a record on that particular table. In the same way, trigger. So the triggering, so what is the action is creating an record on that particular table, and what is the trigger point is after creation of the record, what I have to do it as a business logic, that is sending an email to the respective user. That is my trigger. And so after that, every trigger will have a number of actions that I am going to show it in the next slides. So as you have observed in the previous in the quiz where Arrow has given, right? So for Power Virtual Agents, if you wanted to have different kinds of in order to add artificial intelligence to your particular virtual agents and all, you have then leverage to use the PVA. In the same way, for flows as well, we can easily add an artificial intelligence to our flow without writing any particular code. And also, just main thing is to have an AI capabilities is first you have to build a model which in detail you will be hearing it from the next of our speakers in the coming sessions. And just but at this time you have to think that okay, Power Automate or the cloud flows can also leverage this kind of artificial intelligence by using the models. And as you know, or maybe just there are various models that are present. One is the form processor, which will simply in detail I'm not going to tell about. Just form processor, if you have a form, just you take a photo and then just upload it. And in the same way for object detector, if at all if you see any particular image, I have a model that is already available. If you take that particular image, if at all there are 10 apples that are present, automatically our model will identify that particular apple, and it will give the count of the amount of that apples that are present, which will automatically decrease the time. And also the prediction example based upon the data, like if you see in the last quiz session, so based upon the polls, you got this particular prediction like who is on the leaderboard and all. In the same way, we have in the AI model, the prediction model is also present. And in the same way for the text classification also, based upon the text, automatically AI will think about, okay, what kind of meaning that you will be giving it. So there was an just a customer case study is present. This is I am all following the PL 900 course content that is present. I have not modified anything. So just a case study, what it is there, right? This particular True Green is one of the particular uh, organization. It is what it will write, it uses some hundreds of connectors that are available in Power Platform to connect to the traditional data sources. And using these capabilities, they had their first prototype running in the 2 days, once again without single line of code. In addition, they had, if you observe here, right, this was So True Green, what they have, right? They have this particular self-service present, and also they have the innovation. They have the IoT bots and intelligent IVR and cloud and data-driven business. So better insights into the customer sentiment and fact-based decision, and also digitize internally, that is productivity and efficiency. This is also present, and they also have this particular digital marketing. So when they see, okay, how can we leverage all these things and all, they have used this particular one, like by using the cloud flows, they have done this one. Okay, so they have fully achieved all these particular things like self-service, innovation, data, digitize internally, digital marketing, everything by using the cloud flows. And I will share you the respective link of this particular one in the chat window later point of time, so that you can do it. So just at a glimpse, so True Green is an, you can say, an happy customer who has leveraged our Power Automate or the cloud flows to achieve their particular business requirement. So now just in Power Automate in action. So how can you create a flow with the Power Automate? Just I will show you in from this particular one. Just give me a minute. Okay. So what is the best thing I will say, right? Just I will move to this particular make.powerapps.com. This is an entry point for you. See, there are two ways that you can directly move to these particular flows. One is directly you can use it here in the maker portal, and the other one is you can directly open and separate US or respective automate flows URL that is present. Okay, but at this perspective, right, as you may have mentioned, as you have seen in my slide, these flows are of different types, that is cloud flows, desktop flows, business process flows are present, and also the shared with me. And when coming to the cloud flows, as I said before, I do have various templates that are present, where I can have through the Power Apps button, and I have an add an item to the SharePoint and send an email, and like this, there are many of the things that are present. Okay, so the first thing what I would suggest, right? So directly don't use this particular cloud flow like this. What I would suggest as an best thing, just I have to go to my respective environment, and then what I did, right? Just I have created one solution, and in this particular solution, there are different options that are present. So new app is for the Canvas apps and model driven app, and in this automation, I have this particular cloud flow. One is the automated, instant, and the scheduled flow. So as per this particular slide, right, how can I create an instant flow? So just you have to click on this particular instant. As I said before, just you need to provide an flow name. So this is an demo flow. And also I said you need to have, so flow means you need to have trigger and action. So what I'm saying for here, just I am flow button for an mobile, just I am referring to it. And there are predefined, already the trigger is present. There are other triggers as well, as I said before. Example, when a flow step is in a business process flow, when a flow step is changed, you can trigger this particular flow. And also in a, if at all in Microsoft Teams, if you are performing any kind of operations, then you have that one. And also in an SharePoint, if you are performing any particular operations, then it will be a trigger. And in Excel Online for Business, if you are performing any thing, then we have a trigger. And also the HTTP and HTTP webhook, this is also present, where you can directly use them. And their legacy connector, which will be going to deprecate in the coming days, that's why the legacy, but still it is providing. And also you can uh, you can trigger any particular flow if you perform any action in the Power Virtual Agents, and also through the Power Apps also. And also you can through Postman also you can trigger this particular flow. Okay, so just I am manually triggering a particular flow, which will give you, as I said, right, this is manually trigger a flow. That means in order to run this particular flow, I have to manually click on that one. Okay, so just as I said you before, I need to have an operation. So what is this? What are the different kinds of operations that are present for the people who mostly use the Microsoft Dataverse? Then Microsoft Dataverse that we have to use it, and then we do have, so trigger is that one Microsoft Dataverse, and there is particular we do have these triggers like when a row is added and all. But as I have selected the trigger a flow as an trigger, it directly move to this particular action. So directly I can select any of these particular actions that are present. So just I'll give you one particular condition saying that okay, so just I will take one variable here. So just I'm initializing any variable. Uh, so just I will take some integer value. It is 30, and then I'm going to this. I'm selecting this particular temperature. If it is equal to 30, just simply I will say that I'm just composing it and just saying that okay. So just I'm saying it is a sunny day. Okay. So just as an example, I'm showing it. Just I will take another compose action, and then just I will say that okay, it is cloudy. Just I will say, in case if you are living in the Asia Pacific region, this is the ideal temperature that you will be having it. So just I'm saying it like how we can create it. Simply just I will pause for a moment here. Just observe. So I have this particular business scenario saying that okay, just if the temperature is 30, just send some kind of information to the user saying that it is sunny. If it is not, if it is in cloudy. So just I have achieved this within less than 1 minute. How you can test it? Just you can click on test manually, and then just click on test, and then just you can run the flow. So I might be going a bit faster because I have a time strict time check of the few minutes, like within the time I have to enlighten you or gives the information. So if you observe, that's why. So the temperature is 30. So it went to this particular condition, and then it says that okay, it is a sunny day. That's what I got it. And in the same way, quickly, if I say if it is 27, and then just I am saving it, and if I wanted to manually test this one, just I am running this particular flow. If you observe now this particular flow will go to the else part of my one condition, and it will say this particular as it is cloudy. So let us go back to this one. So that's what how to create a flow with the Power Automate is an Power Automate in the action. Now just how to build an automation solution. This one I will start it. So as you see it right, you can create an flow from a template, from a recurring flow on a schedule, and create a flow triggered by a button, and automate an approval request and discover the approval center. Okay, so just now whatever the demo that I have showed you, right, just triggered by button. That means in order to run this particular flow, just I have to go explicitly into this particular flows and then click on that particular run the flow. You can ask me a question. So Venkat, you are saying automation, but still you are intervening, manual intervention is you are doing it. Yes, I can do an automation, but there are certain business scenarios that are present where even though the automation was in built that which does not require any manual intervention, but at times, right, we need to perform certain operations, like the system admins, they will be using this one. There they will be using this particular triggered by button flows. So as I shown you before, like there are few of the things that you can see, like we do have the hundreds of triggers and actions and connectors. So the first thing when you are working on the Power Automate, right, the first and foremost challenging thing that, or the time that you have to spend is what is the customer requirement. So against to this particular customer requirement, which particular template that I can use it. Okay. So this was one of the important thing factor that you have to consider it, because already that functionality that has been built in the form of a template, you can use it. Don't reinvent the wheel by saying that don't start writing or building a flow from the scratch. First, see what are all the available templates that we do have. And also there are important concepts in Microsoft Power Automate. As I said before, for every flow, it has two main parts. One is trigger and one or more actions. So what is a trigger? It is a starting action for the flow. And what is an action? Okay, when a trigger has been invoked, what is the thing that I have to do it? So in the earlier one, okay, when a temperature, on the click of a button, that is nothing but a trigger. Action means, so if the temperature is 30, send an message saying that it is an sunny. If it is less than 30, it is an cloudy. And there are also, you might have seen, like most of us started our careers as an freshers, and we do have our traditional languages where we used to love using the loops, switch, do until, all these things are present. Still, we do have all these things as well in the Power Automate, where in the form of an actions, where we will be using this loops, switch, do until means until I am running a loop. In this particular loop, if at all any item, okay, I am traversing a list of 10 items. In this particular 10 items, any item, if it has the price is more than 100 rupees, then I have to skip that particular functionality. There I will use this particular do until and expressions. One of the important thing that is uh, you have to learn in the Power Automate is how to use these particular expressions. Okay, so just I do have the various content that has been written on these particular expressions on all these basic concepts, which I'm going to provide you at the end of the session, where you can go out and see each and every one. So when to go for this particular trigger one flow. So whenever, so trigger, if you think about any particular trigger, right, first you have to think, okay, I am defining a cloud flow. Now which particular trigger I have to take it? Example, if at all you are saying that, if at all something, whether it could be in your SharePoint or in your Dataverse table, if something changes, then only your repetitive or the certain logic that needs to be filed, then you have the specific defined triggers are there. And there are certain triggers that are present on a schedule. Example, weekly or monthly, just you can remind certain of your users, or you to yourself or itself, just you can send an email or a reminder saying that, okay, this is an particular time, just a reminder to pay related power bill, or just you can every 8 a.m. or every 9 a.m. you can schedule and Power Automate flow saying that, just to remind, okay, this is the now feeds time and all. And the other one, just on a button press that you have seen, like A physical button is clicked on the third party options, then simply on a button particular press. Example, there are one particular field person is present on one particular okay, for a product. So he went for servicing to a customer, and he found that that particular order, that particular one of the part on that particular product was not working. So what he will do, right, without direct, in order to save the time, like okay, he will note the product, the part name, and then he come back to the warehouse, and then he keeps an order, and after keeping an order he will give you everything and all. So while he was at that particular customer site only, he simply opens an app, and then just he will search this particular part, and then he will just order that particular one. And he may also search and tell to the customer, okay, we have this particular product and this much time it will take for you to gum it, and this was the expected or estimation cost for it. So that the on button or press of this particular from an app, these power automate flows can be run. Okay, and also I showed you, right, just on scheduled flows. So this was an traditional example, like okay, so there was one particular query saying that for every 2 weeks, for every, okay, repeat for every 2 weeks on Wednesday certain activity. That's what it refers to. Like that is a build a schedule flow which is starting on this particular from this day and on 10 a.m. From there you can see it, how you can have it the triggers, right? For every day you can send it, for every hour you can send it, for every minute you can send in flow on any particular day that you can specify the traditional examples, right? If you have a tendency of missing some important dates and all, right, like the renewals of your insurance, or sending some kind of birthday wishes to your friends or relatives or your parents, or just for you reminders, then you can have it. And also after how many number of days or hours, minutes that you can specify, those things also you can use it. As I said to you, these are the button flows, and these particular button flows are send myself in reminder in 10 minutes, where I have this particular template is present. Simply, I can leverage this particular template and use it. Just click on it and then run it. You should get then information for it. And also, button flows are started with a manual action that you have to consider. And I said you, right, there in cloud flows we do have the different flows types. One is the automated flow, and the second one that is automated means through the trigger directly without manual intervention. Second one is through the button, and the third one is through the business process flow, and the also the schedule flow. So for, if you say the business process flow, right, which it will help, right, ideally we use these particular business process flow in the model driven apps in the Dataverse. For the people who are for the first time coming to this particular power platform and terms and all, so model driven apps is nothing but earlier before this particular UCI, right? Whatever the web resources or any dashboards or any JavaScript code or any HTML things that you are using it, that after the UCA and this app model that came into picture, right? All these things come and sit in the model driven apps. So model driven apps are the now before UCA, all the apps, that is everything is same. So whenever you are using any business process flows, from business process flows as well, I can trigger any Power Automate flow. This is one of the important question that will be used by a few of the users while interaction, in order to know how is the familiarity with the person, whether they know about the power platform architecture, power automate flows and all, whether they do need, whether they know the how can we relate from the model driven apps to this power automate and all. They will simply use this one. But here at this particular point, just we can see it, right, for any business process flow. So business process flow, you will have the stage name here. the account is an table that I'm using it, and this is the new stage is the new stage, and then account is a table or an entity, you can say it, and the stage category. If you observe the flow, it is the stage, and the condition composition data step. That means what are all the variables that you wanted the user to mandatory fill them so as to not to miss certain business process. Generally, business process flows will be used by the users where they don't have that much knowledge about technical concepts and all. Simply, business process flows will use, like example. The tech support guys, if they wanted to if they receive any kind of issues, they can simply use this particular business process flows so that they can blindly go step by step. Okay, but here the point that we need to remember, from Power Automate, okay, from business process flows also you can trigger any Power Automate flow. So just how I will show you, I will go back to here my solutions one more time. Just if you observe right here, right, I do have different types of flows that are present, which are cloud flows and the process action. So let me show it here. What is the type? This is the type is the cloud flow, and I do have different things are present. Example, here this one, if you observe right, I wanted to know the forecast for tomorrow. So for that, what I will do is just I will run it. So just I will show, I will open and see this particular flow. So this was the location pin code that I'm connecting. So just I have ran the flow and it says that okay, for tomorrow there is a possibility of an rain. Rain chance is 65% and the temperature high. All these details that I will get it. What I am doing here, right? I have used the MSN related trigger and also the related templates that I have used, where simply I have leveraged it. What I mean to say here, so just in the action, what I said, just I have selected MSN. So if you observe right, MSN weather, in this particular MSN weather, I do have these particular different actions that are present. So that's how get forecast for today, get current weather and get forecast for tomorrow. This one I have used it. Okay. And also, as I said before, right, just I need to get the okay, the loops and all get record count list and all. Uh, we have the predefined ones that are present where I simply get record count list. I will be going to use it. Just it will take some time to run. What is my intention is I have one particular data that is present, which is present in my contacts table. My intention is just I wanted to get that particular record count that is present. So here I'm using the data verse, and in this particular data verse, the action I'm using it is the list rows is the one, and just I am getting these particular details and figuring it out. And also I said about the expressions. Okay. In my example, right, in my PPT, I told you about a few of the things like you have to uh, get familiar with certain kind of expressions and all. So just if you observe right, for formatting any number, just I'm seeing it for format number in an Indian, this is my particular format, then I can use this format number. For currency, if I'm using in India, then I have to give this one as a format. For mobile number data, if this is my mobile number data, just I have to specify this particular format and I will get this. So Please do remember, in order to achieve these things, whenever we are working on certain model driven apps or certain in the C sharp code or any other coding language, we have to explicitly write it. But if you are using this in the form of the flows, you can easily get these things in the form of predefined actions. So if you observe the format number, it is 898 999 I have given. This is a format number, and Indian currency. If I given 45678, I have to get this 45,678 rupees. Okay, and the mobile number in India. If you provide this particular mobile number, then this is the format number that will have it. You can ask me a question, Venkat, where are we directly using this? See, for generating few of the emails and all, if they are customer, if the customer is an Indian customer, we can specifically make that particular report that is very much close to our uh, Indian regional specific things like the currency. If they expect, if you say, okay, if any Indian customer they sees any bill, right, they expect the rupee that needs to be present. So you can do it by using this particular Indian currency. In the same way, if any mobile number data is present, if for any Indian mobile number, it starts with the then code of +91, right? So the format number, if you provide this particular number without knowledge, you can generate it by using this particular format number. Okay, so so if you observe my flows that are present, whatever these particular floats that you are seen here, these are all the ones that I have used in order to get the details by to extract certain details by using the flows. Okay. So if you with this I have completed this how to build an automation solution. If you have any questions, right, you can ask me. Ritika,
Hey
what do you?
Venkat, that was
Yes.
super cool. We do have a couple of questions on the on the chat here. So the
Okay.
first one is like how we can increase the API limits in the flow.
Okay. So so basically, right, it is one of the common and repeated question. Right. So based upon the license for any Power Automate that you will see it, right, per app or per user and all, these particular API limits will be present. And also there, I will give you particular link where you can refer to that particular Power Automate API call limit. Then you can refer to it. So you can ask me a question. So, okay, I have okay, I have designed a particular flow, and my API limits has been increased, and it was beyond the Power Automate limits. Then you have to educate the customer, saying that by giving this particular documentation, saying that okay, these are the limits that you can use it. Beyond this particular one, right? Our flow that cannot be having in simultaneous calls per that particular day. Hope I have answered that particular question. And also, meanwhile, I will share you the documentation link for this particular flow runs limits.
Um, okay, and the next question we have is there any way to check the Power Automate logs from with Dynamics CE?
Maybe I didn't get that particular question.
So is there any way to check the Power Automate logs from Dynamics CE?
Okay.
It-
So,
Yeah.
okay, got you. So directly, right, inbuilt, we don't have that one, but still, if you wanted to do that one, right, there is a customized way of doing it. Like in Dataverse, you can have one particular, see, few ways of doing it. One is by using Azure, we have the telemetry is present, where we can use the log table directly, so that if at all any issues in this particular cloud flows, then that details will be stored on that particular Dataverse log table. But for few of the users, still they might have not moved to this one, to this particular Dataverse and all. For that reasons, right, there is again through the data from the Power Automate, In that on premise, you can have a certain log table that can be present, where you have to explicitly map that one through the Power Automate. But the final uh, answer to the question, yes, there is a possibility to do that.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. Next up we have is there any update from Microsoft about version history of Power Automate?
Okay, so Power Automate, I think if you observe, right, as of now, if you go to these particular details, uh, still we do have the run history, but then just version history also you will hear from the coming days. As of now, there are no official and announcement regarding the same. Okay, just I will let you know, or in this particular chart, I will cross verify one more time regarding this particular version history related details. Okay.
Just want to let you know there's no what Venkat said is no version history for Power Automate, and there's no roadmap as of now. And a lot of people have this question, so maybe they add in the roadmap, Microsoft roadmap, about add the version history which have seen in the Power Apps, right? So they might add, but I think it is not very crucial for this time, and it's quite complex. So I think we have to live with it. Make a copy and make these things. It's not very useful, but not very. But even for me also, I make a backup and see how it works. But as of now, there's no way to do a version history from the Microsoft. Any way to do it, right? So they might come later, maybe this year or next year.
Thanks, Arav, for pitching. Yes, and we do have as in the Microsoft MVPs, we had this particular wish from, because this is one of the particular customer pain points that they would like to have it. Yeah, stay tuned for the coming days.
Um, okay. And Venkat, one last question is there. Can we use Power Automate to calculate 1 hour before date time field in Dynamics form and send email? If yes, how do we do that?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yes, sure. So is there a way to calculate 1 hour before any date time field in a Dynamics form and send email? If yes, how do we do that?
Okay. So there is no direct way of doing that one. The way there is a custom way that you can do it. So through this particular, you can say that any dataverse or a web resource, if you wanted to do this one, is right based upon the record and all. If there is, you have to write one particular action, and that particular action can trigger on any particular flow by using certain means. There is no direct way of doing it through the dataverse. But likewise, from Power Automate wise, it is there, because I can schedule any trigger, like okay, before 1 hour, like before the build or before the go live, just I can let the users know about saying that okay, the build is in progress, and the system can be up by the different time. But to the question, there is no direct way of doing it.
And I just got one more question on the chat. Are there any free connectors from Microsoft for converting HTML document text content to PDF other than OneDrive Business Preview connectors?
No, as of now, no.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Rahul. And I don't think we have any other questions on the chat. And guys, if you have questions, please post them on the chat, and Venkat can take from there. All right. So with that, I think we can close this session for the cloud flows. Thank you so much, Venkat, for presenting and showing, some super cool demos as part of our class today. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Ritik.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining in, and thank you, classmate, for giving
So, guys, we
classmate.
have 45 minutes lunch break now, and we'll resume after 45 minutes. Okay, so you can take a break, lunch break, and all, and then you can have a talk to your friends and all. So we see at after 45 minutes. Okay, and thanks, Venkat, for amazing questions. A lot of people ask questions and all, which means it's a very interesting session. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'll be starting the timer on the screen share. So in case you want to take a look, you can.